Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it. Most everyone knows someone who's dealing with something that they're dealing with in their health issues, right? So if someone has high blood pressure, they usually know of other people that have high blood pressure. And sometimes you can know, like if a person have high blood pressure, they can know someone else that has high blood pressure but not know that they have high blood pressure, right? But usually you are very much aware of a person who's dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with, right? And there may be times when there's some confusion and it's not clear exactly what you're dealing with. And so at that time, you might not know people who are dealing with what you're dealing with. But there comes a day and a point where you know exactly what you're dealing with. And then you start meeting other people who are dealing with the same thing, whether it's people you know already, whether it's in your goings and comings that you learn people, or even just in your different appointments that you go to. The different therapies and treatments that you need, you start meeting other people who are dealing with the exact same thing that you're dealing with. A lot of the doctors people see, the facilities that they have to go to, people with the same issue tend to always have to go there because it's a specific thing. So if a person is dealing with oncology, you know that people that are going to an oncology office are dealing with these types of things. So you start meeting people that deal with the same thing that you're dealing with, and we all pretty much know someone who's going through something, right, or has gone through something or coming into something that we've dealt with. When you know other people that are going through things that are similar than you, there is a lot of good in that. You can have other people who can understand you. There's people who have gone through that can share their experiences and share things with you to help make your walk easier. There's a lot of good that can come from that, but there's also some not so good things that can come from that, because sometimes what happens is, you ever heard that saying, birds of a feather flock together? Well, it's kind of true. Negative people hang out with negative people. Positive people hang out with positive people, right? You don't see a lot of couch potatoes hanging out with a lot of, active, athletic people that like to do things, or adventuresome people. People who like to travel hang out with a lot of people who like to travel. People who like football hang out with a lot of people who like football. You don't usually see a lot of people who hang out with a lot of people that are totally opposite of them. Now, opposites do attract, and yeah, you can be good friends with people who don't have every interest as you, but a main interest for you is you're usually going to have a lot of friends that have that same main interest, because you're going to flock it to the same places, you're going to experience the same things, you're going to find each other in a lot of the same events or whatever have you, right? So, but birds of a feather do flock together. So what happens is sometimes when you are dealing with a health issue or health crisis, right, you tend to start, people who are going through those same things, and sometimes you start allowing the people that you know to become your standard. It is often not a good idea to allow a person to become your standard, because all people are flawed, all people are human, right? I'm going to tell you something that I was taught when I was about 12, 13 years old. I was taught not to idolize anybody, not to lift anybody up on a pedestal, because if you do, they will always let you down, right? Because they're human. But what I was taught, right, with that is that you are supposed to look, we all are supposed to look at all the people around us, look in history, look all around the world, right? And you find people that have qualities that you like. And you say, you know what? I want to take this from that person. I want to take this from that person. I want to take this here and this here. And from all of that, you put it together and you create in your mind what you think should be your standard, or the goals that you want to attain to be, the person that I want to become, or attributes that I want to strive to have, and create that, but not to idolize or worship any man, right? So that's something that I was taught, and so I think that is very helpful, at least for me, and perhaps it may be helpful for you, to not allow other people who are going through what you're going through to become your standard. Because when you start identifying with them as your standard, then if they're doing good, you think that that means that you're going to do good. If they go down or something tragic happened to them, then you get a seed in your mind, and you might start thinking that's going to happen to you, and then you'll follow down a pathway because that thing is sown and implanted in you, and you start following that thing when you really don't have to go down that pathway or go down and have that same kind of demise or bad thing or road happen to you, right? So it's really important that we don't use other people that are going through similar things for us as our standard. Now, we can look at some people and say, you know what, they're doing better than the most, right? I want to emulate some of that. What is some of the wisdom that you can share with me of the things that you're doing so that I can do better, right? But if you're in the same, I see it a lot where people are going through the same thing, and it's like they're not supposed to be eating something, but these people are eating it and they seem to be doing okay. So then you eat it too, and then end up having problems. Or to see, well, everybody's doing this. They're eating stuff they're not supposed to be doing. They're going through these problems, in and out the hospital, having all these issues. But that's normal. That goes with the territory, right? Because everybody else is doing it. So if they're doing it, I know I'm not supposed to eat it, but hey, why not? I'm going to eat it too. What other people do does not justify and make it right for you to do it. This is my belief. Now, you do what's best for you. I'm sharing with you how I live my life, what I teach my children, what I've been taught, is that no one else justifies what's good for me, right? And I find that a lot of times, if I'm looking for someone else to justify me as right or as wrong, a lot of times it's because whatever it is, I know is not right, and it goes against my conscience, but I'm looking for someone else to make it right and okay for me to do it. I'm generally not a follower, okay? I am not a groupie. I'm not a flunky. I'm not a cliquish person. So cliquish people usually have a hard time and a problem with me, because I'm not going to do something just because you tell me that I need to do it. And I'm not going to think something's cool or wear something or act a certain way or participate in certain things or spend my money a certain way because you telling me. I'm just not a follower in that way. I have my own mind. I have my own style. I'm Tammy. I'm an individual. I'm unique, and I believe in the uniqueness of every single person. And I don't believe that for people to get along that everybody has to look alike. If God wanted us all to look alike, He would have made us to look alike, right? If He wanted, we got all these colors of flowers, all these difference of birds. He likes variety, and I am my own unique variety, and I have my own spice, and you should have your own spice too, right? So I generally am not a follower, but if I find that I am looking for other people to make what I know that I shouldn't be doing okay, it's because I know I'm doing something wrong. I don't need anyone else to validate my actions. And what happens is, a lot of times when you're dealing with health issues, I've told you this before, where doctors will come, well, we do this for everybody. Well, that's not going to work for my body. If you are a trend follower, right? If a doctor comes and tells you we do this for everybody, then you're most likely going to do it, even if it's something that's not good for you. Just because everybody's having a surgery, I'm not going to have a surgery. Just because everybody else is getting this cut off, don't mean I'm going to get this cut off, right? Just because everybody else is doing it does not mean I'm going to do it. I mean, how many of you guys have heard your parents say, if Bobby goes and jump off a cliff, are you going to jump off a cliff too? It's pretty much the same thing. Even as adults, even dealing with our health issues, we have to stand strong in who we are and know who we are. And we can't allow other people to justify or make right for us to do something wrong, or to make it okay for us to be in a bad place or a bad situation because you're comfortable because everybody else is there. And generally, when I have to deal with other people that are dealing with things that I'm going through, everybody, even if they're not dealing with what I'm going through, if they're dealing with a health issue, they usually want to talk the doom and gloom of what they're going through. And I do not participate in that conversation. I will either A, change it and make it a positive thing, or B, get up out of that. I'll change the subject or something, but I'm not going to participate in that type of a conversation, because that is not my flock, right? I'm not a bird of a feather there, so I'm not going to go there. But if people are trying to live right, do right, and make the most of their situation, we can talk all day long, right? A lot of times you feel comfortable being in muck and mire when you're around other people who are in muck and mire. So we want to look for people who are doing good, feeling good, striving for more, doing the things that they need to be doing, being disciplined in their doings and in their behaviors and in their actions and in their thought processes and in their mouth, right? They're showing discipline, but also that have that positive mindset. We want to stay around people that are doing things like that. So I hope something in there was helpful for you. Remember, in all things, at all times, do you. Be who God called you to be. Do what's best for you and your family. And remember, things are going to get better. It may not look like it's good now in some people's situation, but things can change. It can change on a dime. You just hang in there until the change comes, okay? All right, until next time. Bye.